morning, East Castle Place. How's everybody doing? Thank you for joining me in this edition of Coffee with Tyler. I hope you have your favorite cup of Joe in hand and take a sip with me. Alright, so since the last time we had this Coffee with Tyler, there's been a couple changes that have happened, of course, and the primary, of course, change is with COVID-19. Last week we had plans in place to begin Christmas at the castle of sorts today and tomorrow, and although there were a number of efforts that were put into place to make sure the event was going to be as safe as possible and socially distanced, after receiving feedback from yourselves as well as neighbors, and then just seeing the numbers not dropping from really the last week when we taped this to where we are today, we decided to go ahead and postpone the Christmas event for our residents at large. That was a very tough decision. It was very, I guess, a difficult decision, but at the same time, not a difficult decision. The reason it's difficult is obviously because I want to be able to have that social aspect. I want to be able to have that Christmas cheer and holiday cheer to really kick off that holiday season, because I think we all are wanting that. But at the same time, as we have for the last 9 months, the health and safety of our residents is paramount. And so, again, in talking with the director team, in listening and discussing it with you that are watching this, as well as your fellow neighbors and residents, it was just in the best interest just to postpone. Again, we are in a good place from an East Castle Place standpoint from COVID-19 today, where currently we have no active cases in independent living. We have no active cases in the water tower assisted living. Yesterday, through our testing process, we did find 2 residents in our memory support neighborhood test positive. Both are asymptomatic, both are doing well, both were transferred up to our 5th floor COVID unit wing. So again, that wing has been empty for over nearly 10 days. And so that wing is still established, and so we have special protocols in place when anybody does present with symptoms or a positive test of COVID-19. So again, through our testing process, which is why we test our employees 2 times per week. We test all of our skilled nursing, all of our assisted living, and all of our CBRF residents 2 times per week. We found 2 asymptomatic residents in the memory support neighborhood. You'll see that in the memo. If you were in contact with the residents in the CBRF, you will be contacted as well and be asked to isolate and then also be put on the testing process. The testing continues. You see it in the news. The trends are trending, it feels, in the right direction, but we're nowhere near through this. We're nowhere near past this. And so that's why the decision was made to postpone the holiday holiday celebration. However, hopefully you all received the memo. The holiday cheer does not stop. The holiday cheer is just brought to you differently. And so Laura Wegler, Mike Brever, Carlos Matos, the director team have come up with creative ways, along with many residents, to make sure that holiday spirit still ensues. And so with that, I think you saw in the memo that happy hours, the staff team of directors will go door to door and passing out some holiday drinks as well as some holiday treats. Obviously, all the staff will be masked and gloved. And again, if you as residents are watching this, you're like, I really don't want to participate, obviously feel free not to participate. But again, this is just an avenue that we want to bring some holiday cheer to you. You also saw that we'll have 13 different raffle baskets provided by the treasure chest, where you can buy raffle tickets and put your raffle your raffle ticket in the bucket that you want to be selected for. Again, this will be at random. I think it'll be a little bit of fun. Please see Mike Brever for additional details. But again, those raffle baskets, much like the pumpkins and the voting that you all did back in October, will be throughout the beautiful hallway corridor. And so again, that's another avenue that we're looking at doing. And lastly, again, I think a couple of you are participating in what we're doing, a kind of a countdown to Christmas. And so look forward to that. We have a number of different kind of holiday cheer type things to get everybody feeling that spirit. The spirit was felt, I wholeheartedly believe, last week. The castle, I don't believe, has ever looked more beautiful. And I've had a couple resident comments. Your participation in decorating the castle and how you embrace that is truly commendable, admirable, incredible. And so thank you for everybody that participated and assisted in making the castle beautiful. As well as, of course, Eric Peterson and his team, who did a lot of the heavy lifting for getting the decorations upstairs so that we could send those out. A special shout out to my health center team that figured out a way to get that garland across the doors when you enter, and again, just everybody's efforts to make that castle beautiful over the holiday season. So again, we are working diligently to continue to think outside the box, to continue to bring that holiday spirit to you in some way, shape, or form and fashion, so that we all can enjoy it. Enjoy it safely. Again, the last thing that I wanted to potentially happen is for a small get together to cause further concerns. Obviously, your voice is very important to me. I do listen to it. Although I may hold out hope a little bit longer and may try to hold out some different things, just because obviously there's a lot of gray area here and we're trying to navigate it. But again, I appreciate everybody's feedback and input into this. Again, this has not been an easy decision to make, nor has it been without feedback and a lot of parties. So again, ultimately that decision was made. I appreciate everybody's understanding and support, but I promise that we'll still bring some holiday cheer to you, whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, whether that's Hanukkah, which comes up starting tomorrow, or as you're watching this, Christmas, or Kwanzaa, or any other holiday celebration that you may recognize and celebrate. So again, I hope everybody's understanding of that. I appreciate everybody, and again, if you have creative ideas, please let us know. We are open to that. Laura and her team are open to that. But it's not just Laura and her team that are responsible for this. Truly, all the directors are behind Laura and Laura's team and supporting every facet of the holiday celebrations here at East Castle Place. So with that, and my holiday cup from Starbucks, treated myself. Little side note, personal note, I was actually up, my little guy Hunter had his 2-month shots yesterday, and so his mom and I took him to the doctor, and I'm sure many of you remember taking your children to get those shots or to have something. Always a tough day, but it was maybe up a little bit more than he was during the night last night, so I spent some time with him at 1 a.m., at 3 a.m., and again at 5 a.m. this morning, so much needed cup of coffee. Along the lines of COVID-19 and what we're doing, so you will see that beginning next week, we are doing compassionate care visits for our skilled nursing residents. Those compassionate care visits are out of the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services guidance, and something that actually we are strongly required and recommended to do. We have placed our plan across the Wisconsin Department of Health's desk to make sure that we can do this safely. And this has been approved, it's been applauded, and it's been actually replicated in other communities. And so Lindsay and the team have come up with a strategy to allow for our skilled nursing residents that obviously do not have COVID, nor have COVID symptoms, to come down to the fireplace room where you see the shields, and to have families visit up to 2 visitors. Again, no children, only 2 visitors. Again, those visitors have to go through our same testing protocols that any contractor or private duty aid do as well. And they will not cross past that fireplace room. So again, we're isolating the fireplace room to do those visits. There will also be a staff member present during all those visits to make sure that masks are being worn properly, that the shields are maintained, sanitation is completed, and that we create that safe environment. So again, that area you will see outside visitors. Again, they'll come into the front desk area, check in, and then go directly to that fireplace room. So I do ask for your assistance in that. These compassionate care visits are allowed. This has been actually a regulation that we need to uphold and maintain. Again, a plan has been placed with the Wisconsin Department of Health. And again, these residents, our skilled nursing residents, are our most vulnerable residents, but at the same time need that connection. Families have not seen many of their loved ones for up to 9 months, 8 months. You may say, Tyler, well, why can't I see my loved ones? Why can't my loved ones come into my apartment or come into the fireplace room? And I'm not taking that off the table at this time, but at this time I am taking only our skilled nursing residents to do those compassionate care visits. Again, that's for the benefit of our skilled nursing residents. As independent living residents, many of you are still able to walk the corridors, to have some interactions socially and safely, where our skilled nursing residents really are dependent on a staff member bringing them down, and it takes much larger effort. So again, I hope you understand that. I hope you can appreciate that. If you have questions or concerns, of course, feel free to let me know. But again, these plans have been approved. It's something that we feel very strongly about. Again, we feel we're providing that safe environment for everybody. And so again, those will begin taking place on Monday, and then they'll only go through the following Wednesday. So over the Christmas holiday and New Year holiday, nothing will be happening. And then again, we'll readdress everything after the new year regarding our COVID-19 protocols and situations. The other, I'm sure, top of mind conversation that I'm sure many of you have had. I know I've had a couple of conversations with a few of you as well previous to this, and this is about the vaccine, right? There is so much news about the vaccine, and when is it going to get distributed? Who's it going to get distributed to? How's it going to get distributed? How much is going to get distributed? Well, I can tell you that it changes minute by minute. I can tell you that Lindsay V. Goot and myself did have a call along with a number of national providers with CVS and Omnicare, which is the provider that we will be getting the vaccine through. Unfortunately, CVS, they have a great plan in place. They will come out and do the vaccine, but we don't know how many vaccines we'll have. And as you've seen, the first tranche or the first giving of the vaccine is for our frontline staff and our skilled nursing residents. With that being said, I've also heard different things about senior living communities potentially being in there. I don't have at this time a direct communication or direct guidance from CVS or from the federal government or state government or LCS as to when or how that vaccine will be distributed. I know tomorrow or December 10th is a big day for the order to be approved, for the vaccinations to be released. Obviously, I think there's still some pieces that need to just get their final stamps of approval on. This is not a mandatory shot, but highly recommended and encouraged. And again, as soon as I know more details, I will be sure to share that with you. I'm happy to have discussions. Again, I know you can look at the news, the internet, and find that the vaccines will be available on Friday, and when can I get mine? That's not information I have, but I can tell you that we have our ears to the ground. LCS has a spot on the national stage to make sure their communities are getting the proper dose and vaccine when available. Unfortunately, I don't know when that availability is. CVS even said, they're having conversations with the Pfizers and the Modernas of the world and trying to figure out the distribution process. Where's that going? How much of the vaccine is going to be available? And who's that going to? And so again, as I know more, I will share that with you. That is our focus. I want to assure you of that. I wish I had more information, but I don't. And I don't want to lead you down a path of, well, Tyler said, because I don't. I can tell you that, again, our ears are to the ground and we're excited for it. But again, at the same time, we have to remain vigilant in our guard against COVID-19. This is your greatest guard. This mask right here, time and time again, shows that this is your greatest guard. With that being said, I ask, I implore, I have to tell you, we have to continue to mitigate the small group gatherings. These have to be worn at all times. It's a must. It's a non-negotiable. And again, I appreciate everybody's efforts and understanding in that. Even once we get the vaccine and we have staff that are vaccinated, it is a two-step process, if you recall. And so these masks are not going away just because somebody gets a shot in the arm. Again, these masks are probably going to be with us well into the new year. If I were a betting man, I would bet very, very heavily on that these masks will be with us well after the first of the year. So that's the update from a vaccine standpoint. Again, you're not going to see anything in writing. I will keep you updated on these coffees with Tyler as I know more. And again, once we know for certain definitive steps regarding the vaccine, I will step that out and communicate that out as best as I can, as clearly as I can. And so again, our health center team, Teresa, Lindsay, Ashley, our director of nursing, they don't know much more than I do from a vaccine standpoint. And so if you're trying to figure out, hey, Tyler, when's that vaccine? I hear we have a vaccine. I promise and I assure you that we will communicate that out as soon as we know, as soon as we have definitive plans, okay? So again, happy to have those discussions with you, but again, have those with me. I'm always interested to hear. Dr. Lang, one of our board members, also is very in tune with it and keeping up with it. And again, I always appreciate the board and health committee, the board health committee's support in that. And again, there seems, again, the optimism that I have outpours. I've always been a very optimistic individual. And again, sometimes to a fault. But again, this fight is not over. I cannot stress that enough. This is not something that, will end after Christmas or after the New Year. This is very much in front of us and we have to stay vigilant. That's why we continue to test twice a week. That's why we continue to test our residents like we do. And we take the very strict precautions that we have in place. Just like Thanksgiving, you'll see this in the memo next week. If you plan to go out for an extended period of time over Christmas, you will have to isolate back in your homes. Because again, we just need to continue to protect the community at large. All right. Whew, that's a lot. I know it's a lot of information. Again, I share a lot with you in these coffees with Tyler. I hope that you also pay attention and look for the memos that really put it in black and white, the important items. So again, like the Christmas at the Castle, that memo was distributed on Monday. You'll see another memo, hopefully as you're watching this today, with further updates regarding COVID-19. All right. What else do we have? Wow, the Employee Appreciation Fund. My breath is taken away. The generosity that you have for our staff is truly, truly incredible. I believe Barbara Hill and Ms. Mary Fraley, along with the resident council, did an incredible job. Thank you again to some staff support and Mike Brever, but really it was the resident council that led the charge. But it was your generosity that is going to make an incredible Christmas for our employees. Over $71,000 was raised. That's about a 5% increase from even last year's that each employee will see. Wow, that's truly incredible. I cannot thank you enough on behalf of our staff. Obviously, it's for those hourly staff members, those frontline staff. The director team has a different structure along with the management team, but again, wow, just your generosity during these truly difficult times, so incredibly impactful. Along with that, if I didn't mention, if you didn't see, we raised over $350 virtually for the food pantry during the Thanksgiving holiday. Now United Way, another effort that we're behind, has raised close to $1,000 already in the Giving Tree. If you're interested in knowing more, please see Mike Brever. But again, truly incredible. The generosity, it continues to astound me. Thank you. Again, I assure you the employees will be so appreciative of that, and you brighten their Christmases, as well as their holiday season. So thank you so much for that. What else? Oh, here we go. The efforts for the new pictures and biographies. Thank you to all those that have reached out to Fern and Maureen. I think we're on a good track. We should be seeing some pictures and biographies to update your photo directories here in the near future. Thanks to Fern and Maureen for taking that task on, and thank you to those of you that participated in introducing yourself and allowing the rest of East Castle Place to see and know who you are. What else? The dining room is going to remain closed. Carlos and I had that discussion. It's going to remain closed through this year. And so I don't necessarily like doing that as an optimist, but at the same time, just with the holidays, just with everything that we have going on, I think it's prudent to continue providing and really focusing on the delivery service that we have for you. The point system, obviously, which I've heard positive feedback. Obviously, I've heard some other feedback too, and we're working through that. But again, we will keep the dining room closed, and again, we'll still provide a wonderful Christmas meal, the New Year's meal, etc., etc. Continuing to focus our efforts on there, and again, readdress after the new year. I think these next 3 weeks will be very telling regarding COVID-19 and where we stand and the direction we go. So I look forward to that. And lastly, it's the holiday season. I know I started it with Christmas at the Castle. Walking the hallways, walking the corridors brings excitement to me. There's I don't want to spoil anything, but there's going to be a really cool video that I'm sure will air on Channel 955 about the efforts that were done regarding the decorating at Christmas at the Castle. So again, it's incredible. And so I urge you, this Christmas, this holiday season, it definitely looks different. I was actually just on a call this morning with my siblings, and obviously we're doing Christmas that we celebrate. Usually we get together as an entire family and really enjoy each other's company as a family, and that's going to be different this year. We're taking the steps just like I'm asking you, and really everybody should be this year, I believe, in taking the prudent steps to mitigate the large gatherings. But that's not to say that we can't have holiday cheer. And that's not to say that the challenges that we face today aren't going to make us a stronger community and a stronger individual tomorrow. And that's truly what I believe. So I encourage you, knock on your neighbor's door, socially distance, of course. Invite them for a Zoom call. Give them a call. Write a handwritten letter to your neighbors, to your loved ones, to your families, to somebody who maybe you haven't reached out to in a while. Bring that holiday cheer. I promise that'll bring you cheer as long as that individual. If you're feeling like you need somebody to just say hi and to bounce some ideas off of, I'm always here for you. We as a community will get through this. We have for the last 9 months. We will continue getting through this together. I am so thankful, again, each and every day that I walk through these corridors, through these doors, to have the interactions that I do each and every day with you, with our staff members, and with the loved ones that surround us. So with that, I can't wait to see you next week. I look forward to seeing you walking the beautiful hallways and saying the hellos. But with that, I'll sign off with a sip. Let's stay ECP strong, and let's get off to a great start to our holiday celebration. All right, take care, everyone.